At long last, Setzer, you are finally mine. As mentioned earlier, I've gone back to that banner since it was released and just threw tickets at it as much as I could. Whenever I got some tickets, I threw it at the banner. And it finally paid off. So I figure I'll just test them out here, and what better way to do it than to shamelessly rip off Jin Lee. That's exactly what I'm doing here. For those of you who haven't seen it, Jin Lee did a run of this exact team, and it looked way too fun, so I had to try it myself. The only modifications I made was, I didn't think this team needed a friend support, so I didn't bring one. And instead of the Ferris Call, I put on Gabranth for two reasons. One, sap, and two, HP damage up. Figured we would just stack that with Kurasame, so all this off-turn goodness we're doing will hit even harder. And I gotta say, I know I'm super late to this party, so everybody else knows this already, but I'm a big fan of the new Setzer. I feel like the guy who saw the new movie like way too late. Everybody else already watched it. They've already talked about it. They've already come up with their fan theories and all that shit. And then I'm the one friend that shows up way too late. Like, hey, I just saw this. And everyone's like, we don't care. Dude, we saw that forever ago. And I'm like, but I want to talk about it now. That's what I feel like right now with Setzer. But I'm going to go through it anyway, because for me, it's brand new. I love the fact that you can kind of just spam with him now, because that was my biggest gripe with him. I've always really liked him as a character. I've always thought he was super unique, all the stuff that he could do. I've always really liked him. But my biggest gripe with him, and everybody else's too, I'm sure, is the fact that he got spent way too quickly as content progressed. And you had to like throw in weird HP attacks and shit, and it was just, it could be a little awkward with him on the team, regardless of all the goodness he brings. But now, those days are over. Setzer can just spam now. He's got plenty of skills to work with. He's got 9 red cards, which I never pressed in this whole fight because I don't want to delay them. I want to counter them, so you guys can act as much as you want. So I really just kind of alternated between LD, Freeze Joker, EX. And then at that point, Setzer's EX is up so fast, you press one skill, his EX is back up. So really, yeah, I mean, with how quickly that recharges, you can kind of just go ham with him, finally, and it's great. I talked right through it because I was Setzer fangirling, but one thing I love about this stage right here, bringing Galuf, is that when they try to apply that debuff on you, Galuf counters them anyway. Oh, and as far as the debuff prevention, yeah, as you can see, there is no debuff immunity or cleanse or any of that on this team at all. All we needed to get our 6-frame debuffs was a call, and I opted for hope. It's probably overkill. I probably could have done something else, but everybody else was fine. It was just Setzer. Setzer needed one more buff, so I just went with the hope call. And again, I talked all the way through it, but I did the hope call last. I let everybody else set up with their necessary stuff, you know, like Galuf's evasion buffs, Core's link buffs, and all that stuff. I waited till all that stuff was applied, and then I threw up Shell with hope. So now, the name of the game is to just keep our buffs refreshed and keep freeze on until at least until they get to 50% as far as the buffs go. And we should be home free. So yeah, big shout out to Jin Lee, because he's the first person I saw run this comp, and it just looked way too fun, so I had to try it myself. It feels weird kind of shouting out a guy who, like, usually when I shout people out, it's people, and this isn't me trying to sound like a diva or whatever, but like, because it's just YouTube, so who cares? But, you know, a lot of people out there work really hard on their videos and stuff, and are on the grind and pumping out videos constantly, and a lot of people, nobody knows who the hell they are. So usually when I try to shout people out, I try to do it for people who I just think are really good and don't get the attention that they deserve. But Jin Lee's got like double the subscribers that I have, so it feels weird sitting here being like, yeah, you guys should go check out Jin Lee. Everybody already fucking knows who Jin Lee is. like, if you know who I am and don't know who Jin Lee is, what are you even doing with your life? But anyway, they are half dead and they can't do anything to us. This is beautiful. I love this. This is fantastic. And notice how shitty Galuf's Brave damage is. Aside from the rainbows. Like, that's such a big jump with those rainbows. Yeah, I like Setzer a lot. I'm really glad I got my hands on him. That might surprise some people because Setzer isn't really, he isn't very conducive to a lot of the comps that I run on recording. So maybe it's shocking to some people that I wanted him as badly as I did, but I'll say before I say it again, just because I don't record it doesn't mean I don't do it. Like, I don't record everything I do, but I was just excited to actually use Setzer, so figured I'd do this. As mentioned before, he's definitely coming to tier 4. It would be foolish to not bring him. Like 100% he's coming. Along with Vaughn, possibly Core, and I don't know the third. I know I need a white crystal somewhere. I think that's on the left one. And I don't have Una built, so it's not going to be her. But I'll figure something out. That dude is, I'm sure you guys hear, that dude is speeding. Yo, he's going crazy. You about to get pulled over, son. Like, we're not out in the country. Like, we're in public. There's people here. Like police. Anyway. So, looking at this. This might have been, see, okay, now I'm about to nitpick like crazy. I kind of feel like summoning here was a bit of a mistake. The only reason I did it is because we had this launch right here, and I'm like, okay, you know what? The turn order is a mess. I'll just make the most of this damage. But the orbs are kind of worrying me a little bit, because yeah, they're going to delay themselves and all this stuff. And if we would have just not summoned, that would have been much less of a threat. So now I get in this weird point where Core has 10 stacks up, so I could unleash the rainbows, or he's about to have 10 stacks up anyways. That happens outside of the summon though. But he gets to a point where he has his 10 stacks up and he can't do his rainbows, because that means he'd get an instant turn and the orb would have killed us. So timing was a little weird, but again, I'm just nitpicking. And I'm gonna wait until Setzer's turn to launch that one on the right. I think that would make the most sense, since he's gonna pump us up with some juice. So I'm not about to do that and then do brave attacks. That would be ridiculous. So oh, another thing I forgot to mention about having your frame buffs. You want to link up with Setzer, because even with the Hope Call, he only has 5 with a comp like this. So yeah, just be wary of that. If you're gonna attempt this, Core's got to link with Setzer for this to happen. Probably should have said that in the beginning of the video, now that instead of now when it's almost over. That really important piece of information saved till the very end. So you know what that means? That means people who just kind of skim it and watch the beginning and then try to comment in the video like, I don't know why Setzer doesn't have enough frame buff. I'll know your ass didn't watch the whole thing. Caught in 4K. That's okay. Oh no, I want a battery into that. Hell yeah. Okay, that wasn't as much as I thought it was gonna be, but close enough. I probably could have just dive bombed. But it doesn't matter anyways, because at this point, we are done taking turns. They're gonna die of counters. Nope. And how about another one? Did you see that? Okay, normally he would hit ones, but because of Setzer, he caps. Yeah, what a great character. I'm so glad he showed up. All right. Hope you guys enjoyed, and thank you for watching.